Chris in Orlando. Why does that screen look so nasty? Clean it up a little bit there. That looks better. Yeah, it's not quite as cloudy as it was there a moment ago. Welcome back to the program. I'm in Orlando, Florida, where I've come for the CPAC convention, which is now over. It ended today. Saturday night, of course, we had he whose name we dare not mention, Voldemort, former president of the United States, spoke at the convention Saturday night. There's Linda Thomas Greenfield on the screen behind me, U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations. It is 12:25 in the morning here. It's now Monday, the 28th of February, 2022. And this is just an opportunity to give you all an update on what's happening on the Ukraine and around the world. So lots of footage still coming in from the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and I've been reporting on this over the past several days. It is interesting that my coverage has attracted trolls. I've already seen, I saw a comment today from someone saying, 3 minutes and 40 seconds in and you're already wrong. Bye. Well, what exactly was I wrong about? Belarus, huh? Interesting. Good morning, Cheryl. Good morning, Brett. Yeah, so what exactly was I wrong about was my question to the gentleman who was saying that. So that was entertaining. I'm actually going to bring up the stream over here so I can see your all's comments a little bit better. Let me just do that very quickly here. I should have done this ahead of time, but I meant to do this earlier, but I've been very busy. I was tired this afternoon after the conference, and so, Wide Family Farm is on right now. Didn't know that. Okay. Let's see, make sure to put this on mute. For the conference, and so, there we go. Okay, now I can see the chat a little bit better. I can see who's chatting over there. So Bram Janssen from Rendsburg, welcome to you as well. Rainier Dutoy. This is top chat. I want live chat. There we go, live chat. Okay, good. Now we've got it. Okay, Red Robin is here. Didn't you say that Putin would not invade? No, Red Robin. Go back and watch what I said. Good point. Are you trying to say that was wrong? You're welcome to say that, and I might have been wrong. What I did is I asked the questions that journalists should have asked. I didn't say it wasn't going to invade. I said a proper journalist would ask Jen Psaki and Joe Biden, why would Russia invade? What do they have to gain from it? It's counterfactual. And the reason for asking that question was because instead of the nonsense that the Biden administration was perpetuating about how they, and the media carrying the water for them, including Jennifer Griffin on Fox News, well, they declassified. They didn't declassify jack squat. I didn't see a single intelligence report, no piece of intelligence information offered. All I saw was Jen dye my hair red, circle back, broke back mountain, or better known now as Peppermint Patty. Her and Joe Biden claimed that they had disclosed intelligence that they called this right. They may very well. No, you're not corrected, Red Robin. You feel free to correct me, guys. I mean, if you no, what I said though, honestly, and that's what I said. That's why I framed it that way. These are questions legitimate journalists would ask. Now, I frankly today I didn't get to say this in Big Daddy Liberty because I was short for time, pressed to get back so that I could catch the last speaker there, which was Donald Trump Jr. But earlier today on Big Daddy Liberty, what I wanted to say, because I think Gabriel Krause said that he was surprised. He predicted it would be a year before they attacked. Well, what I did say, let me see something if I adjust this downwards and see if it's a little bit better for the TV. No, not so much. A little bit better there. Okay, so yeah. So what I wanted to say there is what I meant to say with Gabriel, to follow up on Gabriel Krause, is that was I surprised? A bit surprised by the invasion. Shocked? Not in the least. Not in the least. Certainly within the capability of Vladimir Putin is certainly something I would expect him to do. But again, my questions were focused for a genuine journalist, which is absent in the White House press corps. No genuine journalist there asking legitimate questions about, hey, why would they do this? Why are you telling us? Because here, listen to this, folks. Notice how no one is focused on this fact. And I didn't touch on either because I didn't have the correct number. I know the correct number now. But when the Russians moved troops to the border with Ukraine, they put 70,000 troops there last year in March, less than 60 days after Biden took over. And what did Biden do about that? Did he issue sanctions? Did he remove them from SWIFT? Did he stop trade? No. In fact, he destroyed the U.S. energy sector with his jihad against American energy and made us dependent on Russian oil. That's what he did. So rather than punish Vladimir Putin when he moved troops against the border to intimidate Zelensky and the Ukraine into becoming a vassal state of Russia, Joe Biden rewarded Vladimir Putin by taking no concrete steps against him. That's the bottom line. So those were questions I was asking, Red Robin. So you can ask it. I mean, a lot of people are going to ask that question because how many people got it right? Now everybody's crying about the U.S. intelligence. Oh, they got it right. They got it right. Did they really? Did they? Maybe they did. We don't know. I don't have access to top secret Senate Department information on this topic, sadly. And if I did, I couldn't share it with you. But anyway, didn't FDR not allow much dissent amongst journalists either? Yeah, he was pretty bad for that as well. That screen is actually, I don't know why it's doing that. I can't adjust the color. People tell me adjust the color, but this remote doesn't have anything on it that lets me do that. Biden unsanctioned Nordstrom. Yeah, exactly. He shuts down the Keystone XL pipeline, but then leaves the Nordstrom pipeline up. What's that all about? Yeah, I'm going to turn this way because it's the TV's, or I'll just turn the TV off because it's starting to irritate me. We really don't need feeds from the TV. We know there's nothing special coming in there. So let's do this here. We'll turn this around a little bit this way. All right, so yeah, let me just turn this table a little bit more this direction. There you go. Move my chair over a little bit. Make sure I don't knock my Coca-Cola over. I'm trying to be more white, drinking Coca-Cola tonight. I went to an Indian restaurant and that's what they had. So that's what I got. Anyway, yeah, so who else we got here? Dvald Schalk said, Janssen, oh, hello, welcome to you. Yeah, yeah, no, you don't stand corrected, Rob. You asked a fair question. Call me, guys. If you think that I've said something wrong, call me on it. Unlike the guy who came on to my stream earlier and put a comment for my video and said that it was all BS, that what I was saying is BS. You should read what he said. Let me see if I can find that one really quick. I don't know if you guys saw that, but I did respond to comments earlier today on my channel on a video, and I'll read to you what he said, and then we'll get into today's news. Let me just do this while the audience builds a little bit here. For those of you that are here, come on, where are you at here? Content, comments, that's what I want. Let me see. Where did he say all this BS? Come on, now I'm not going to find it. I hate this. When you look for something, you never find it. Oh, I think, let me see. Let's just do it this way. It was the updates. I'm looking behind my screen too. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm looking at my laptop behind me there. So let me see. Maybe it was this one here. No, that's not it. Maybe you got deleted after I commented. Wouldn't that be funny? It wouldn't be the first time we see something like that. And I'm just probably looking at the wrong video. Maybe delete it. Yeah, could be. Could be. Let's see. One more here and I'll look and then I'll stop. Good morning, Erica. How are you? Yeah, the guy deleted my comment. His comment. So mine is gone because it was in response to his, what a cow little biatch. Yeah, no, basically some guy wrote on my post that what I said was BS, and that Trump tried to dig up dirt on Hunter Biden and Trump stopped sales. And I said, listen, where do you get your facts from? The Democratic National Committee talking points or Hillary Clinton herself directly? I said, because here's the bottom line. I said, don't bring your nonsense in here and try to snow someone that knows what they're talking about. I'm the most experienced security cooperation officer in the U.S. Army, bar none. And what you're talking about is a security assistance program in which we sold Javelin missiles to anti-tank weapons to the Ukrainians under the Trump administration. The Biden administration security cooperation consisted of life support items like blankets and bandages. They refused to sell the Ukrainians any self-defense weapons or offensive weapons after Russia invaded and annexed the Crimea, and they infiltrated the Donbass and started a civil war there. And so Obama and Biden did nothing to protect Ukraine back then. And then this clown with his talking points, a la Alec Vindman there and others in the fake stream media, tried to say that, well, Trump stopped it. See, that's a lie. That's a whole lie. Trump said, let's take a look at the delivery of the next shipment, which had already progressed throughout the fiscal year. The end of the fiscal year is 30 September. That's when the contract has to be complete. If nothing had been delivered by September 29th, it wouldn't have been in the world. The contract must be done by September 30th. And what was left on there was delivered by September 30th, as the law stated. When Congress signs that security cooperation, it is security assistance, it is a law, and it was passed, and the Trump administration complied with it. And the nonsense started by these little leftist toadies who think that they can take a little piece of information and lie about it. And I said, don't bring that nonsense here. You're talking to someone that actually knows what they're talking about. And what I'm saying is all easily discoverable. It's a matter of public record. What we sold the Ukrainians under Obama, what we sold the Ukrainians under Trump. It's easy for people to take the time to look it up if they don't believe me. But don't come on my channel and place comments in there and be disrespectful and say bullshit like you're talking to some 12-year-old. If you want to talk facts, then talk facts. Don't talk bullshit. If you know what you're talking about, then don't talk out your ass. The world's full of 6 billion people talk out their ass. Be someone that contributes to the conversation. Which is not to say I can't be wrong. I misstate things at times or get excited when I'm writing things down, but I'm honest about it. You know, like the question here that was raised by Red Robin, didn't I say that Putin wouldn't invade? I said again, and that was a fair question, which Red Robin asked. I said that what I was asking was a question legitimate journalists should ask, which they have been asking. Anyway, I see chat coming up here. Let me see what the chat is and greet folks here, and then I'll get into the news because the crowd's still building here. So let me see. So Hailstorm said, how U.S. and European perceives India, UAE's abstaining from voting UN Security Council against Russia. Isn't this undermines strategic relations? Yeah, it does. It does. Uh-huh. It does. UAE and India, that's a bit surprising to see a UAE go that way. India, not as shocking. Not as shocking. India has long been a non-aligned power and going their own way. So it's not so shocking to see them do that. Melanie Matthews says, South Africans stranded in Ukraine with no food, water, shelter. They shouldn't feel right at home. Yeah, exactly. It's just another day in South Africa, right? How U.S. and EU, okay. Do you think any parallels can be drawn between Cape X and Eastern Ukraine? No, I don't think there's any parallels at all, Thomas. None whatsoever. No. No. That's a completely different situation. First off, the effort in the Ukraine is territory that belonged to Russia that was given to the Ukrainian Soviet Socialist Republic by Nikita Khrushchev because he was Ukrainian. They stole it from Russia when he was the premier of the Communist Party General Secretary. So that is an area that was full of ethnic Russians, and this is an irredentist movement. There's no irredentist movement in the Western Cape. That is the secession. It's different, completely different. This, if you want to call them breakaway republics, you can say that. That's similar, but it's not the same basis. So, no, there's no parallel in my mind between the Cape secession and what's happening in the eastern Ukraine. Much more akin would be Catalonia trying to break away from Spain. Yeah, that would be much more likely story. Yeah, or for that matter, you could say if someone wanted to make Darfur a separate place from Sudan, you could say the same thing. South Sudan breaking away Sudan. There's a better parallel. Although hopefully not the war that they fought for 30 years. That we don't want to see that. Yep. Okay, so Ravani's here. ANC lied to the world about white privilege since the fall of apartheid. The bank estate owns all unoccupied land. Yeah, no, the ANC lies about everything, so they are race hustling scum. The left tells me Ukrainians are Nazis, but we need to defend them because Putin is a Nazi. Imaginary Republicans support Putin because they're Nazis. Also, do you think Nazis is overused? I think it might just be. Great. That's pretty good light, right? I like that. South Africa can't even support South Africans. ENCA is CNN funded propaganda. Yeah, they are useless. Why are you in Ukraine? Stay and fight, morons. Philip B says, hey, Chris, just a question. I usually take it as concerning when CNN, Fox, and all media is aligned. This usually means that we do not have the whole story. You are correct, Philip, and I would agree 100%. I have been taking lots of pot shots at Fox News and its analysis. First off, look, people don't interpret this the wrong way, okay? The gentleman who is a WMPT and a veteran on there, I think he was a Marine, can't remember his name, young guy. Every time they talk about something military, they talk to this guy who's a young NCO. If I'm not mistaken, maybe he was a company grade officer, but I think it was a young NCO. I thought he was sergeant or something like that. And they keep deferring to him, and they turn to him and they look at him as if some sort of expert on geopolitics. I'm not aware of anything he's published on geopolitics and political science. To my knowledge, he's simply a veteran, and he should be respected for his service and his sacrifice. But he's not a subject matter expert on these topics, and they turn to him as if he's an expert on tactical, operational, and strategic military operations and geopolitics, which he's not. And by the same token, we listen to Peter Doocy, Steve Doocy, the father, and these airheads on Fox who know nothing about what they're talking about. And even the people who should know better on the program, like Jennifer Griffin, come on and spew nonsense, the party line, which is being fed to them by the Pentagon and the Biden regime. And their analysis is half-baked. When I was on Big Daddy Libby earlier today, I talked about the people being careful. First off, people are spreading and sharing videos all over the place, including videos from events that have occurred over the last 8 years and attributing to today. You know, I've seen crucifixion video passed around, not the one about a child, but about a separatist Russian who was crucified by Ukrainian troops, purportedly. A lot of what we're seeing is misrepresented. For example, while the Russians haven't conquered Ukraine in 4 days, these people who have no experience driving in convoys with armored vehicles and wheeled vehicles with thousands of vehicles, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands on the battle space in wintertime have no idea what they're talking about. They've never done this. So the fact that a convoy didn't get to a particular place by the time that the media thought it should happen, that means the Russian campaign is stalled. Now, I'm not claiming it's not stalled. I'm also not claiming that it's doing well. But these are a lot of people who are talking right out their backside. Now, I just saw Gordon Chang appearing on Fox. He'll be an interview on my channel. Gordon Chang, I'm going to have him coming up. I met him, and he agreed to come on the channel. Oh, by the way, for those who know him, Scott Pressler, who's a Republican, and he's pretty well known. He is a guy who used to collect trash, along the road because it was really annoying. From Virginia, they tried to pigeonhole him because he's gay, and he came out in favor of Trump back in 2016. I met Scott Pressler through a mutual acquaintance today as the conference was ending. We chatted for a bit, and he gave me his personal number so I can reach out to him, and he's going to come on the channel sometime soon, along with a host of other people, folks. We had some really interesting developments this week. Let me get back here. Why did these students go so far for European education when they try this business? Oh, yeah. Yeah, Melanie. Funny how YouTube just blocked your comment. I didn't do that, Melanie. I just freed it up. It's because it's all lies. It's all lies. The fees must fall and colonizers and all that BS. It's all just lies. Good morning, John here. Good to see you there. How's Hanley? Putin arrested nearly 2,000 anti-war protests in Russia. I heard it was 6,000. I don't know if he arrested them, but 6,000 out there. Anne Marie Nell, hello to you. I didn't see you there. Charlene? Or Charlotte. See, Charlotte's Web. Oh, I love that username, Charlotte's Web. Okay, good morning. I'm with Putin against the coup in 2014 against the Benderites. Okay, well, the coup in 2014 definitely was not a good thing. What happened on Snake Island? Are they or are they not, is the question. Henry, I don't know. All we have is a recording, and then we were told by the media that all those border guards were killed, shelled and killed. We saw no images of it. We've seen that. So all we have is what the media sent to us. And also, there's a conversation, and the Russians are obviously speaking, I assume they're speaking, well, maybe it's in Ukrainian, but I don't know if they're speaking Russian, Ukrainian. They're similar, but they're not the same language. So anyway, you're lining up some interesting, oh yeah, I've got some great speakers coming up, and a lot who might have been mentioned to you, but some big names too. Also, I've been asked to go on a program with a guy named, is it Alex Newman? And I'll be doing that tomorrow. I'm going to a studio here in Florida, and he'll be on my channel sometime soon. So Putin is actually a liberal. He's always had, what's this? Okay, I'm just reading a message. It was hidden by YouTube. And Keith Aldous said there are interesting videos of Ukrainians interviewing young Russian conscripts. They say they were sent on training maneuvers near the border, then told to join a column. Yeah, Keith, there you go. That actually seems plausible, and I've seen some of that. Yeah, it seems that if in fact the Russian troops are being stymied, it may in fact be because a lot of troops don't even know they're part of an invasion until they cross the border in some respects. Now, special troops and special operators know, and obviously pilots are flying over and bombing know, but yeah. Affect India's relations with the West. Yeah, it will affect us. Yeah. Bush famously reached out to India and offered them nuclear technology. Yeah, but Philip, you're correct. You're correct. When Fox and CNN are in alignment on what they're saying, you should be nervous. You should always be nervous with both platforms, but when they agree on things, you really should be circumspect about what's going on. Anyway, I'll keep trying to bring Chad in here, folks, but I do need to get to the news items that I've made notes on here. What's the difference between Putin arresting protesters and Trudeau arresting protesters? Philip, that's a good question. The difference is very little. I don't know the circumstance of the Russian protesters. I've only seen people being carted away in video on the news. I don't know if they're arresting illegally or what they were doing. Yeah, but what Trudeau did is pure outright fascist. Yeah, no doubt about it. Okay, I wonder if Sleepy Joe will put on a bulletproof vest and help defend U.S. Your comment was, Monterey, was blocked by Google again. An awful lot of comments being blocked by Google. I see no profanity, no personal attacks, no violence, no racism in these comments. So interesting. So obviously, Google is monitoring my streams very closely. By the way, folks, I received an image from one of my viewers earlier in which they said they couldn't view, and they showed me the screen, couldn't view my first update. When I got here on Wednesday night, which was Thursday morning, just after midnight, and I did a live stream when Russia invaded Ukraine, that's still up. That's at 1,600 views, but it died. It stopped getting views. Now I know why. One of my viewers in South Africa tried to watch that video, and they got a message saying the video has been removed by the uploader. That's a lie. You see how desperate YouTube is to silence things? They hide my videos that are available to people online, telling people that I removed it. When they're not deleting my videos fraudulently, they're telling people they don't exist when they're there. The games never stop. It's just hilarious. It's not hilarious. It's sad, you know. What should have gotten tens of thousands of views got 1,600. Thank goodness we can go back to normal. What do you mean go back to normal? Why didn't they drag Putin before the International Criminal Court? Khalid, that's because the International Criminal Court exists for cases in which a nation does not have the ability to prosecute a person for crimes, or they're unwilling to do it. So they refer the case to the court if they're signatory to it. So Vladimir Putin could only be tried by the International Criminal Court if Russia arrested him and turned him over to the court. That's the only way. What else we got here? Abe Lincoln, yes. Abe Lincoln suspended habeas corpus. He violated the Constitution. He was a criminal in that respect. Jesse Randall, is it Randall Huff? Welcome to you. Okay, so let me go ahead and get to this. Willem Thert says, I get that a lot, that your stuff is deleted by uploader and I have to go look for your video. Yeah, no, I'd see that. But there's another. This is bullshit. I mean, this is really pathetic. We need another platform that doesn't pull this, and Trump needs to get off his ass. I'm tired of waiting for his Truth Social. Yeah, we need another platform, folks. This is another reason why I'm so disappointed in Creado. They promised me a slot on there, and I'd be among the first content people on Creado, but here it is 2 years later, and it's yet to exist. And, you know, with YouTube censorship, I'm going to wind up disappearing and only be on Telegram, and I'll lose my audience and not reach a larger audience, and you guys be left in the dark. Very sad. Explains why my videos don't go anywhere after they've been up for a day or so, because they just tell people they're deleted when they're not. Yeah. Philip doesn't want to take a sides conflict, but when we are being fed BS, then we'll usually go against the grain here. Yeah, we're being fed BS. We're fed BS by Biden and the whole build up to this. This is a guy who neglected the situation in Ukraine and showed weakness. And when the first step was when Putin put 70,000 troops on the border with Ukraine a year ago in March, 11 months ago. Biden did nothing. And then he lied about Afghanistan. He said Americans are tired of war. What war? The war in Afghanistan ended over a year before he even became president. The last combat casualty was 13 months prior to him becoming president. We weren't in a war in Afghanistan. The Afghans had a civil war going on, but we weren't in it. We had combat troops there, but a very small number of them there as a reaction force to protect Americans who were there for training. And he lied about that. He lied. What Americans were tired of is the U.S. Congress giving billions of dollars to Afghanistan, not the U.S. military training Afghan troops. That's a completely different story, but he lied about it. And then the shameful withdrawal, leaving 10,000 Americans trapped in Afghanistan. And this shameful thing here, if in fact they truly knew what they claim they know, which it seems might be the case, and they told Americans that they couldn't get them out, that's BS. It's BS. We have C-17s which can carry hundreds of passengers sitting in Ramstein, just a few hours away. That could have been flying Americans out for weeks before this thing went to a conflict. Anyway, suggest to get economist historian Thomas DiLorenzo. I don't know who that is. I'm guilty of not watching all your vids, but please give us your opinion on what's going on before you leave, please. Leave what? I'm not going anywhere, Philip. I'm not leaving YouTube. I'm not leaving YouTube. I'm just saying that YouTube is, it's gone beyond shadow ban. They're actively, like here, I've seen 6 comments that Google intercepted here from commenters blocking their chat, which slows down the chat rate and causes problems and distracts the moderators as well as the content creator. That's just nonsense. Now, they shouldn't even be doing that. That's why we have moderators. But we've seen this before. They come in, Google and YouTube come in, and they're Google moderators, and they remove people's comments, or they block them for no reason, which is harassment. And beyond that, why would they put up a video removed by uploader? I didn't remove the video. The only video I've removed in the last month was the speech by Nigel Farage, because Nigel Farage, in his speech, started going on about something that would get my channel a strike. And so I put my hand over the video, and then I shut down the stream right there. And I turned my camera on and just recorded the rest of the speech. Once I get home and I have my editing software, I will take the video, which was on YouTube. I downloaded it, deleted it off of YouTube. The only video I've deleted recently, completely off there, so I wouldn't get a strike. And then, even though what he said shouldn't get me a strike, then I record the rest. So I'll marry those two up. I'll bleep out his audio where he says what will be interpreted incorrectly by YouTube, and I'll reload it. But I didn't delete the video about my Ukraine. I haven't deleted any of my videos from Ukraine. It's nonsense. That's YouTube playing games. So committed to read our comments in the chat. Give him time to get to the news. Yeah, I'll get there. See, look, Ravani just had his message blocked. It says South Africans with a brain don't support Sona or BRICS. Why is that blocked? There's no hate there. There's no racism there. Sona is a State of the Nation address. And BRICS is the Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. See, that comment was just blocked. What you can see now on the screen, folks, a moment ago was blocked. I had to unblock it. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Anyway, all right, so let me get to the news, folks, okay? So I made some notes so I don't miss points here. All right, so there's consequences to Russia's invasion, it turns out. There are. I mean, a lot of people don't think there are, but there are actually consequences. It's costing them a lot of money. Not oil money. We're buying 595,000 barrels of oil every day from Russia. A year and a half ago, we didn't buy any oil from Russia. Norway, which is an incredibly wealthy country, and they've made a ton of money off of petroleum for 40 or 50 years. They have a national sovereign wealth fund, which is a rainy day fund worth billions and billions and billions. Norway has decided to divest their Russian assets, so they're dumping their Russian assets, which is going to cost the fund a lot of money. Now, that's the sovereign wealth fund that's announced that. Switzerland's president, Ignacio Cassis, has indicated that Switzerland is likely to freeze Russian assets today. It's after midnight now, so here. Russians have over $11 billion parked in Switzerland, either in banks or in property and company stocks, that sort of thing. And also, Switzerland is a major trading destination for Russian commodities that are traded in Swiss exchanges. Well, I did warn you folks that the threats by Vladimir Putin to neutral countries were likely to push them towards NATO and have the opposite effect that he intended. Vladimir Putin yesterday threatened non-aligned countries in Europe, saying that if they move towards political or military integration with NATO, they would pay a price militarily. And so that, of course, I said famously would be Finland, Sweden, Austria, and Switzerland he was focused on. I overlooked Kosovo because I didn't think he really cared about Kosovo, because Kosovo has pretty much been a non-factor for a number of reasons. Because Russia is a Security Council member, they've prevented Kosovo from becoming a member of the United Nations. Now, Kosovo has today requested accelerated entry into NATO. There are about 640 U.S. troops stationed there right now, but that's on a rotating deployment basis. Kosovo wants permanent foreign military bases in the country to help protect its security. Now, it's been independent since 2008, long after the conflict in Yugoslavia started back in 1991. But it's been independent since 2008, and 110 countries around the world recognize Kosovo's independence, but not Serbia, from whom they were carved out of, and not Russia, who was a traditional ally of Kosovo, and Serbia, I should say. So, yeah. So Kosovo wants to get accelerated entry into NATO. Now, this is a consequence of Russia's invasion. So I suspect we'll hear a debate in the Finnish parliament sometime soon about whether Finland, after approaching a century of neutrality, would become a member of NATO. That would be shocking, but they're being pushed in that direction, folks. Now, the media continues to claim that the Russian offensive has stalled. After 4 days, Russian troops, they've got a point on this, but after 4 days, Russian troops have failed to gain control over any major Ukrainian cities. They don't have control over Ukrainian airspace, and they have yet to capture Kiev, despite all kinds of shenanigans going on. Now, should Russian forces shift from fire maneuver, which is what they've been doing on the battlefield, to siege warfare, which is what the media is trying to tell people, they're going to suddenly hunker down and lay siege to Ukrainian cities. If they do that, that's going to be catastrophic for civilians, because siege warfare is directed against civilians and infrastructure and the economic production of the country. So it will be a disaster. It will result in destruction of the total destruction of the country, which so far it's been largely avoided if they switch to siege warfare. I don't know if they're going to do that, but that's what the media is trying to get people to believe in. If it does happen, that's not good news for Ukraine. Now, Canada says it has plans to launch an investigation into an Aeroflot flight that flew from Miami to Moscow, entered Canadian airspace yesterday, Sunday. Now, why Aeroflot is flying from Miami to Moscow on Sunday is beyond me. Why didn't the Biden administration suspend all flights? And for Aeroflot aircraft that were in the U.S., they should have impounded them. But instead, they let it fly and it violated Canadian airspace. So now this is what they had to say. We're aware that Aeroflot Flight 111 violated prohibition put in place earlier today on Russian flights using Canadian airspace. We're launching a review of the conduct of Aeroflot and the independent air navigation service provider NAVCAN. Leading up to this violation, we will not hesitate to take appropriate enforcement action and other measures to prevent future violations, said the Transport Canada organization on Twitter, no less. Well, yeah, you're going to stop them from flying in the future? I don't think they're coming back. The U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, Ambassador Linda Thomas Greenfield, who used to be our ambassador in Liberia after I left there, told CNN on Sunday that the Biden administration has made it clear that there will be no U.S. boots on the ground. Well, gee, go ahead and telegraph your moves for Putin so he can make his moves there, Joe. It's your stupidity and your feckless foreign policy that's put us in this position in the first place. Now, lots of other things going on. The isolation of Russia, and that's what I've titled part of this title for the stream, is that Google will no longer allow Russian state media outlets to run ads. Yep. YouTube decided that on Saturday, but Google itself decided that on Sunday. But back on Friday, front-leading Meta, or Facebook, said it would suspend Russian state media's ability to run ads and monetize on their platform. So Facebook and YouTube and Google have now stopped Russian state propaganda outlets from advertising or monetizing their channels. Now, here's a weird one, folks. This one's bizarre. So Brazil's Bolsonaro refuses to sanction Russia, saying that Ukrainians trusted a comedian with the fate of a nation. Well, that may be true, but it really isn't germane. So you're going to let Ukrainians be murdered and slaughtered and their economy devastated and destroyed because they elected a comedian? Well, I mean, Brazil elected a comedian. His name is Bolsonaro. So, what the hell? What the hell? Yeah, well, the reason he says they're going to do this is because Brazil is heavily dependent on Russian fertilizer. And that if they brought sanctions against Russia, it could bring serious harm to agriculture in Brazil. And he hopes that he's in support of peace, but he doesn't want to bring more problems to Brazil. Bolsonaro, the guy is always making news for the wrong headlines. Yeah. So now, Sleepy Joe apparently is going to have a call with U.S. allies today, scheduled for 11:15 Eastern Standard Time. So that's in about 11 hours. Isn't that about up to par for Joe? I think by 11 a.m. he'll be up from his morning nap, his mid-morning nap, so he should be able to attend that without any problem. Now, the White House says they're trying to coordinate a response to the Russians. Well, that would have been nice in March of 2021, not March of 2022 there, Joe. Now, the other big development took place is that Ukraine and Russian officials have agreed to meet on the border with Belarus. Now, we'll see what happens here. Belarus is guaranteeing the safety of the Ukrainian diplomats. It will not be Zelensky and Putin who meet, but actually diplomats to talk. Zelensky has warned the public not to expect anything to come out of this, which is probably a smart decision. There's a report that some radioactive waste was hit by missiles. That's not good news. I don't know where that's at. And also on Monday, 5 days too late, the UN General Assembly plans to hold an emergency session. 5 days after Ukraine is invaded, they're holding a general session. Emergency session, General Assembly. Yeah, according to Associated Press, Russian troops have entered Kharkov on Sunday, which is the second largest city in the country. Videos show that Russian vehicles have moved into the city, and there was at least one vehicle burning the streets. Residents have been urged to stay inside with Russian forces inside of Kharkov. And that's kind of the updates on the big picture things that have been happening here. A lot of comments came in while I was giving you that news. It's apparently what's this say? 5-kilometer column heading in from the northwest. It could have been able to surround Kiev overnight. Not heard how Ukrainians have dealt with this move on. Well, we've heard all kinds of stuff coming out of Kiev. I saw reports that supposedly they emptied the jails and gave these people weapons and the stores being looted by them. I don't know if there's any truth to that. It's a problem with all this stuff. I really recommend the movie by Oliver Stone, Ukraine Are on Fire. I don't know that movie. Which movie are you talking about? tell America the leaders of BRICS are actively trying to destabilize America. Okay. Um, Philip says, I'm concerned for South Africa as we've been in a lot of energy talks with the Russians. I wouldn't worry about it. There's no energy coming from Russia to South Africa. Jacob Zuma's wet dream of buying Russian nuclear technology, which is wholly unnecessary for South Africa, his own graphite core-based reactors. There's no need to do that. That $70 billion deal is dried up and gone away, so that's not even an issue. Russia contributes nothing to South Africa's economy for the most part, so I wouldn't worry about Russia and its impact in South Africa. Worry a lot more about China if I were South Africans. Did anyone see the Russian South African embassy's response to Durko's tweet? No, I didn't, Wandering Turtle. I don't think they responded. By the way, today, folks, when I was on Big Daddy Liberty, I made a huge sacrifice. I missed my golden opportunity to sit on a presentation. One of the speakers was Lana Marks, the former U.S. ambassador to South Africa. She spoke today, so I missed that. Ah, darn. Oh my goodness. Anyway. Yeah, so if you know Lana Marks, you understand why I'm talking about it. But yeah. So here we are on day 5. Russia has not conquered Ukraine. It's yet to capture a major city, although that could change today. And they still control the airspace. The Russia's vaunted cyber warfare capability. One has to wonder just how reliable that is. I mean, take a look at what's happening here, folks. Look at what's happening. There are still Ukrainians using Skype, Telegram, WhatsApp, video streaming, calling people out, and telling them what's going on, especially Jewish Ukrainians who seem to be deeply involved in getting people out of there, a number of them. Yeah, this is happening. And Russia hasn't shut down the ATM machines, hasn't shut down the power grid with cyber warfare, hasn't really accomplished much of anything with cyber warfare. Why is that if it's so good? What do you think about the reports of Russia and China being in the same bed? Well, historically, they've not been friends, but they have common interest here. And the common interests here are to destabilize the West and to give both countries an opportunity to be bigger players on the world stage. Russia's invasion of Ukraine is a convenient distraction which takes the world, hey, Courtney, you're here. What's going on? I saw you were streaming. Are you done now? I take it. Thanks for coming over. It's a convenient distraction for China, which can now ramp up the pressure against Taiwan, while Sleepy Joe, who can't handle one thing, let alone two things simultaneously, will be distracted now. And that's what's going on here. That's what's going on here. Naked Love Raid. Is that what's going on here? Naked Love Raid? Okay. Elon Musk just connected Ukraine to Starlink. So how now it will be harder for Russia to cut them off without attacking other countries' data centers. I'm unaware of that rollout in Ukraine there, Wandering Turtle. Most of the world is not on Starlink, so I'm a bit surprised to hear you say that the Ukraine is part of it. The satellite system is still lacking a lot of satellites, and they've had 2 launches in the past month, and the first one, 40 of the 49 satellites were wiped out by solar storm. And then this one just launched another 49 satellites, and I don't know if they actually made it in orbit properly. I covered that. So, yeah, but there's Starlink has put up over 2,000 satellites, and only 1,300 are currently in service. The rest have been deorbited or not functioning up there. So, yeah. So I'm not really sure the status of that Starlink. But anyway, so there's that. So we'll see what happens if in fact, but the Russian cyber capability, they would have you believe is invincible and it controls everything and they can do what they want to win. Well, clearly it's not the case in Ukraine. Clearly it's not the case. Otherwise they'd be shut down, right? Right? Come on, guys. That's just crazy. It's just crazy. It's not really there. By the way, folks, today tickets go on sale for the Rugby World Cup Sevens in Cape Town in 57 minutes. If you want to get tickets, go jam the website and see if you can get tickets. Melanie, yeah, well, Starlink is up and running. That's a different statement than saying Starlink is up and running in Ukraine. And how many customers does it have in Ukraine? Does anybody know that? I don't know. I think it's about power and corporate. I'm not sure what Philip is saying there. Yep, not sure what he's saying there. Why do these messages keep coming in here? Telegram. The news presenter in Ireland gave the soon-to-be deported Russian ambassador in Ireland's a real grilling's worth a watch, though only one gets a glimpse of the ambassador's defense of it. I have no idea what you're trying to say, Keith. That's not even a complete sentence there. I think what you're saying is that the Irish are deporting the Russian ambassador, and they grilled the Russian ambassador on camera, and then he had a reaction. You couldn't see it. Is that what you're saying? The strength of America was defined by the straight white men having strong nuclear families capable of fighting wars. America is destroying themselves systemically, not racially. I'm not sure about that, but America's definitely weak today. Definitely weak. Sylvester Stallone is back. Hey, sorry I've been absent. I joined a program that has kept me very, very busy. All right, Sylvester, it's good to see you again. Thanks for being here. Be sure to smash the like button. You notice the last 10 minutes we've had a number of people come and go. We've fluctuated between 60 and 73 people back and forth. I don't know if people are popping in and disappearing. They've never been here before. But yeah, be sure to smash the like button. We got 55 likes already. That's pretty cool, 56 now. But it's good to see you again there, Sylvester. I'm glad you're back. Yeah, so let me digress for a few minutes here and talk about CPAC, and we'll come back to Ukraine here in a little bit. But I spent the last 4 days here in Orlando, Florida. I'll be here tomorrow. I'm going to Cape Canaveral. That's the plan. So after I get some sleep here, I'm going to get up and go over to the Morale, Welfare, and Recreation by the airport and try to get a discounted ticket for military and retirees and go over to Cape Canaveral. And live stream from Cape Canaveral tomorrow is the plan, folks. And then I'll fly out early Tuesday morning. So, excuse me, Tuesday or Wednesday? Wait a second. When am I leaving? 1 March. Oh, 1 March. Okay, got it. Tuesday. I'm getting confused which day. Yeah, 1 March. So I'm flying back Tuesday. So I'll be back Tuesday and I'll be fine. Okay, I just confused something there, so I'm straight now. Okay, cool. Yep. All right, so I'll fly out Tuesday morning. And then Wednesday, I'll be on with Ronaldo. And before that, I'll have Daniel Elof, who's an attorney in South Africa, who knows a lot about the Julius Malema case that's taken place with Mark Oppenheimer as an attorney there. So I'll be talking to Daniel on Wednesday. On Thursday, should be, once again, answer the question with Rob Hutchison. So we'll see how it goes. And then all these other folks that I've had on, excuse me, I'll start getting on interviews coming up soon. So we'll see how that goes. So let me get back to CPAC. So I've been here for 4 days. Whom did I meet with and who did I take photos with? Well, a lot of folks. A lot of folks. That's funny. So let me go over and take a look at some of these photos here. I met Kevin Sorbo, Hercules, and Captain Dylan Hunt from the Andromeda ship there. So he was pretty cool. I met Scott Pressler. I met, who else did I meet here? Ed Henry. I saw Mike Lindell. Met Matt Schlapp, Mercedes Schlapp, Jenna Ellis, the attorney for Trump. I met her as well. Got a selfie with her. Let's see who else I met here. I'm just looking through some of the stuff. Matt Gaetz, the Florida congressman, met him as well. Got a photo with him. And who else? Yeah, a lot of people there. Any pointers for that? Huh? Pointers for what? Trying to see who else I saw. A lot of people. There's Mercedes Schlapp. There's, Eric Bolling, who used to be on Fox. He's on One American Network or something like that. No, Newsmax now. So Eric Bolling, I met him, chatted with him. He was an interesting fellow. I got along with him well. And who else we got here? I'm just looking through some of these pictures. Dr. Oz, the guy that's running for Senate in Pennsylvania, met him and talked to him. Oh, Dr. Malone. You know who Dr. Malone is, right? Shh, don't tell YouTube I met with him. By the way, unfortunately, Wednesday is the next launch here at Cape Canaveral. Damn it, why couldn't it be Tuesday? If it was tomorrow, or not Tuesday, it's Tuesday, excuse me, it's the 1st of March. Why couldn't it be tomorrow, the 20th of February? If it was tomorrow, then I could watch a launch. That would be so cool. But it's the next day, so I'm just 1 day short, and it's actually in the afternoon, so I would have missed it anyway because the flight's in the morning. But yeah, the flight, the launch is going to be an Atlas V rocket, I think, from the ULA, United Launch Alliance. That's going to take place on Wednesday, and I'll miss that. So anyway, yeah. So no, it's not tomorrow. It's on the 1st. Tomorrow's okay. Well, tomorrow. Tomorrow. You're right. That's folks. I haven't gone to bed yet. It is tomorrow already here for me. So you're talking about the next day because you're already well into the day. Yeah, it'll be on the 1st of March. I'll be gone already. So So today's Tuesday for me. So anyway, so Robert Malone, got a photo with him, met him, and then Scott Pressler. Yeah, so a whole bunch of people I met. That was pretty cool. Interesting times here. So let me see some of the comments that come up here. Musk said Saturday his company SpaceX satellite broadband service has been activated in Ukraine. Okay. All right. Good. All right. Cool. I missed that. What's so exciting? One day I get the CPAC. That's so awesome. Yeah, Kitchen Beyond it was pretty cool. Trump's speech was very good, but it was very measured. It was not very Trumpian, if you know what I mean. So there were no zingers and no gotchas, but he was on point. It was almost like he was being reserved. And, I spoke to someone who's running for Congress in Maine today. We had lunch afterwards. I sat down with him. He'll be a guest on my program coming up too. He's a gunsmith. He's running for Congress. But we spoke about this, and he said that it almost seemed to him as if Trump was being reserved because he really felt something impactful. And we kind of talked about, well, maybe because he kept going on. He mentioned, he sees now, he appreciates now just how important it is who is president, and he probably didn't. He took that for granted before he became president when he was president. But now I think he sees the carnage and the destruction that can occur when you have an idiot in charge of the White House. Trump didn't say that, but that's kind of the impression that this guy got, and I would have to agree with it. That was, to me, a very reserved speech, but every comment was point on. Also, he was from the teleprompter, almost the entire thing. Almost nothing he said came off the hip, which is normally what Trump does. Usually he just, bans the teleprompter and he just goes over here and they got to sit there and wait for him to come back while he discusses things. But the speech, which was last night for me, Saturday, so now 2 days ago for most of you, was very good. It was also shorter than many speeches. It was an hour and 27 minutes. A lot of his speeches go for 2 hours. I have recorded the whole thing, but I've got to edit the audio and listen to the whole thing when I get home. It keeps trying to download to my Google Photos, but it never does. So I finally put it onto a solid state drive so that it doesn't kill my battery all the time. So yeah, but I'll have that speech up. It may not be on YouTube just because of their censorship, but I'll definitely put it on Odyssey and Rumble. But the problem is it's 10 gigabytes. So I'm going to probably have to break it into pieces because you can't put anything bigger than a couple gigabytes onto there. So I've got to break it down. So I'll also pull some comments out of these speeches. I'm going to put a collage of a bunch of speakers together and put all those videos together. But that's going to take me a little bit of time. Yeah, I saw the entire speech and I was there. I was exhausted, man. I had been there since before 8 o'clock in the morning. And when I arrived at the hotel before 8 o'clock in the morning, and the reason I went early was not because of Trump, but because he wasn't speaking till 7 at night, because I wanted a better parking space. I didn't want a crappy parking space. Because the day before, I'd gotten there at 9 and the place was already packed. And I had to wait forever to get in. It took me 20 minutes to get in because people were cutting the line up by the traffic light, which is annoying. So I got there before 8 and I had my dress shoes on and my feet were killing me. I was there all day long and I didn't leave until 10:30 that night. So 14 and a half hours I was there. So today I got there, what time did I get there? I must have gotten there about 9:40 or something like that, 9:30, 9:40. And much smaller crowd today. It was easy. Got in, and then I wanted to catch Larry Kudlow. He was scheduled for 10:10. And I walked into the media filing room, and Larry Kudlow was on stage already. He's already started talking. They had him talking 20 minutes early, which really pissed me off because I've been watching him on television before I left here. He was on Fox, and he was talking about things. Larry Kudlow is amazing. So I got to watch Larry Kudlow. That was great. And then I went and did a couple interviews with people running for office, one in Illinois and one in New Jersey, the guy running for a congressional district. Phil Rizzo, that was a fantastic interview. He's great. You should go back and look at the Phil Rizzo interview. What an exciting guy. So then I went on Big Day Delivery, and then I caught Don Jr. and Lee Greenwood singing Proud to be an American. That was a pretty cool way to end the whole day. After that, I did some more networking, and ran into a few people, including the guy from Maine, who'll be on my channel now, and then someone that I know from LinkedIn. I finally got to see him in person. I saw him standing there, so I went up and said hello. And then he happens to know Scott Pressler, so he walked by. We were walking to look for something, and he stopped and he started talking to Scott, and that wound up being a conversation with Scott and I, and he's going to come on the program. So that was pretty cool. All right, let me get back to the chat here. But the CPAC has been was really fascinating, guys. There's another one in Houston in a few months. I have to debate whether I go to that because this stuff costs a lot of money, and I'm not getting compensated for this. I'm just trying to spread the word. But it was pretty cool. There were some big names that weren't here. Mark Levin was here. That was fantastic. He gave a great conversation with his wife. It was really more of a speech, but sitting down. Mark Levin is a true treasure for America. Great guy. Sylvester wants about any pointers for what? By the way, in one aspect of the program, I was put on the team that has to research world events. So that's a lot of fun. Are you asking for pointers on how to research world events? Well, you have to cast a wide net and you have to be very circumspect about what you're reading. And if you take that approach, then you should be okay. I read, if for those who watch my Daba Africa News of the Day program, you'll notice that I show you the news sources that I go with. Excuse me, folks, I'm really tired, but I want to get to streaming. You'll notice that I show them, like The Guardian, the Mail and Guardian, Telegraph, all these different sources. About 75 to 90% of my sources in the news are leftists. I show Chinese news. I show lots of news, mostly because either they're the only ones covering it or they're covering it correctly, and I break it down for you. So you just have to be able to discern what you're reading. So for instance, right now, as I warn people in Big Daddy Liberty today, there's an awful lot of people getting very incensed and excited on social media about this Ukraine war, and they are not being very critical thinking. They're not thinking very much about this. They're just emotional. First time I see you so early. Time now is it's 1:15 in the morning, not 12:15. I've been okay. Well, hang on a second here. I'm off and on at this time. I've been on here, so you haven't seen me. I've had a stream here 3 of the last 4 days at this hour. So yeah. Excuse me. No, it's not after midnight. It's 1:15 in the morning. So yeah. No, folks. Grant Rothman. I was on at 3 o'clock in the morning on October 6th of 2020 to cover Senegal when only one media outlet was there. It was ENCA. No one else was in Senegal. And I covered it live from the States. On the 20th of October, 3 o'clock in the morning again. The biker rally against farm murders, 3 o'clock in the morning again. I've been up for 2 o'clock. I've done rocket launches at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, no, I frequently do these things. I try to avoid them. But I do them because I do my reports based on breaking news and on, now I'm not in South Africa, but I set my news hours based on events in South Africa. So it's not uncommon. You just haven't seen it much of late. So there haven't been any stories that have forced me to do this. So the reason I'm doing this now is that I want to give a summary and a wrap up of Ukraine, and now we're talking about CPAC. So, yep. Anyway, so the CPAC was really cool. I would say that probably the best things I saw is Governor Ron DeSantis on the first day. His speech was brilliant. Reddick says, thanks. You're welcome, Reddick. It's my pleasure. His speech was awesome. And then Ted Cruz, his was brilliant as well. And Don Jr.'s was pretty good today. No surprises, though. Trump's was a very good speech, but not very, very crowd rabble-rousing like Trump's speeches typically are. What else? Who else had a really good one? Larry Kudlow had a great speech today. He was really good. They gave an award to Lee Greenwood. He got the this big silver eagle thing, an award from CPAC, which is pretty cool. Thanks for going out of your way for others. Much respect. You're welcome, Graham. No, it's my pleasure. These are, again, if I worked at a big media outlet and got a big salary, 6-figure salary doing this, then no big deal. But I really, I'm not tooting my horn. I go to great lengths to get the news and analysis to people on lots of stuff, and I don't limit it to just certain times, whatever. Speaking of which, that reminds me, I have to look and see if Ramon Kapanek has read my email message yet. Let me see. I don't think he has. Nope, he hasn't read it yet. I sent him an article a few days ago and it hasn't run yet. Interesting. Interesting. So anyway, sorry, I was just checking my WhatsApp there. What else we got here? The ANC probably promised the Russians falling honey milk. I have no idea what the ANC promised the Russians. Taz Girl's here. Good morning to you. Yeah, I hope you have a wonderful day too. Yeah, so CPAC was interesting. And when it was in National Harbor in Maryland a few years ago, I considered going because it's just a couple hours away. Just to go. And that was before I was doing this journalism thing. So this now was great. I had my credentials, which were awesome. I was a credentialed journalist here. It was really cool. And it was it's a nice facility, huge ballroom. I mean, I don't know how many people sit in there, but when Trump spoke, it was sold out. Every seat in the house is full, and then plenty of people standing around. So they announced that CPAC was a sellout, but I don't really know what that means. How many tickets they have available? Because the main ballroom, depending who was speaking, could have 20 to 60% attendance, just depending. But it was pretty cool. And running into a lot of people, there are a few people I want to talk to. I didn't get to meet. So the viewer who asked me to get in touch with Daisy Cousins from Australia, I tried. Eric helped me out. For my stupid tablet, my phone wouldn't let me see email addresses, so she looked it up for me because it's available on her channel. She sent me the email. I sent Daisy an email. Then I ran into a reporter from Sky News in Australia, and I mentioned Daisy. She said, "Oh, I know her through a friend." I said, "Well, I'm trying to reach her." She said, "Well, let me reach out to her." So she reached out to her. And then I ran into Yakov, who's from Rebel News in Canada, and he and I chatted. He took a shine to me. He liked me. And I mentioned, well, I know what happened after I talked to him. I sat down, and then a little bit later, I saw that she'd done an interview with him for Rebel News. And so she posted that interview. He had interviewed her, but she posted the link on YouTube. So I went and said, "Hey, you know her? I didn't know you knew her." And he goes, "Yeah, no, I know her. Knew her through a friend." And so I did this interview with her today. I said, "Well, I'm trying to reach her." I sent her an email. He says, "Well, let me send her texting right there." I went to WhatsApp, sent her a message, said, "Hey, where you at?" And she responded later on. He said, "Hey, you got to meet this guy. He's really cool. This American colonel." And she wrote back and said, "Oh, no, I know. I got his email. I'll respond to it." And so I was led to believe that she would get in touch with me today, and she was going to be there. I didn't see her. I didn't see Yakov. I was going to see a whole lot of the people who said they're going to be there today from the media pool that weren't there, which is great. There's less journalists in the way, so I could find more people to interview. But I never linked up with Daisy. She hasn't responded to my email yet, so whether she does or not, she's under no obligation to get back with me. But it's a shame because it would have been cool to talk with her there. So, Steve Levite, Chris, I heard that Biden said you are unable to see the good job he's doing because, oh, I do. Oh, Stephen, that's the bottom line. Apparently, I'm a psychopath. I'm also a domestic terrorist, according to the Department of Homeland Security, because I exercise my First Amendment right to free speech, which is an inalienable right, an unalienable right, which the government cannot take away from me. It was granted by our Creator. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, probably have psychological issues. It's the Rona, man. I blame it on the Rona. We're all demented now because of the Rona. So it's just the Rona, man. Yeah, your channel should be exploding. You're way out in the front of the pack. I am on so many issues, Erica, but of course we know what's going on. I mean, you saw it earlier. I can't show you here because I can't incorporate things because I'm not using streaming software. I'm just going directly off YouTube on my phone. But I mean, when someone sent me that image earlier and they said that your video is removed by uploader, that's nonsense. I went and checked right away. It's there. It's just this dirty, underhanded games. And they get away with it because there's no alternatives. So we need alternatives, folks. I met a guy who's a Korean journalist, and he's Korean American, and he runs a media company in California. And we were talking quite a bit. I got the impression he liked my content, and he was talking about collaboration. A couple other people I met want to talk about collaboration, including the guy Stephen Rowe from the Leadership Institute. So who knows? Something might come out of this. We'll see. But something definitely has to be done so we get away from the Putin because they're just underhanded. Tomorrow, this vid will be also deleted as you're using a Coke can, not using the recommended way. If we use the Coke can the way that I recommend to people, the Coca-Cola use their cans, let's just shove up their rectum. That wouldn't be airable either. Ouch, my mustache got caught in the lip there. Aircon just kicked on because I had turned it back up so that we could be quiet, but apparently it came back on. So sorry about that, folks. That's funny. What am I missing in chat here? Anything else? Yeah, Biden may be right. Maybe it should all be crazy. But I just may be the lunatic you're looking for. You may be right. I may be crazy. Just may be the lunatic you're looking for. That was that Billy Joel song, wasn't it? Anyway. Anyway, did anybody see me on Big Daddy Liberty today? Anybody? Any thoughts? I wasn't on there very long because I had to dash, but and I missed what was talked about. I tried to go back and listen to some of it while I was waiting for Trump's son, who was late. But who caught me on Big Day Liberty? Hey, Moonchild, what's going on? Morning to you. Swarm DJ's in from the Netherlands. Good to see you there, Swarm DJ. But yeah, if anybody saw me, okay, Wandering Turtle was there. Cool. Relic says, Reddick says, yeah, you're the kind of crazy the world needs. Well, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Moonchild says, I saw you. It was a good conversation. Cool. Yeah, guys, Big Day Libby told me there's 6,300 views of that live stream. That's awesome. Now, he gets 6,300 views. He's in South Africa. I'm in America talking about Ukraine, and I'll get... I don't know how many views I'll get on this, but I got 67 people watching right now. That's not the true figure. Look, those of you who watch this channel know that right now that the 67 that you're being shown by YouTube is a lie. There's over 100 people watching the stream right now. You can tell just from the rate of chat, the number of people who contribute to it, because there's only a certain percentage of people traditionally contribute to chat, and also for the number of likes that have shown up already. Only a certain percentage of people like. It's uncommon, even for people coming and going, to have 65 people and have 77 likes on a video. In order to have 77 likes on a video, you had to have already had at least 400 viewers, 300 or 400 viewers. They're just playing games. They're just playing games. Oh, folks, I'm telling you, this is crazy. I recorded part of it, but there was this ad that someone made, and it's Coca-Cola. Oh, it was so good. Oh my gosh. I would show it to you, but I don't know if it's a copyright thing or whatever, and I didn't get the whole commercial, but it's so funny. Oh my gosh. They do Coca-Cola, and they take, the Coke song, and they turn it around. They talk about Coca-Cola giving people diabetes. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. Courtney. The poop troop is here. Okay, I see that. You guys are showing up. Pushing the numbers up. Thanks, guys. YouTube even screwing around with the homesteading streams. Yeah, exactly. Fishes and lows. Like it's oh gosh. Anyway, I don't want to turn this into a complaint about YouTube. Just making the obvious point here that's frustrating. Anyway, but no, I'd say that among the coolest people I met this week, actually Scott Pressler was pretty cool in the time we spoke together. Cooler than I expected him to be. Not that I expected to be an answer or anything like that, but it was cooler. It was a nice conversation. It was also the end. He could have just ignored me, but he was pretty cool. Kevin Sorbo was awesome. Initially when I ran into him, everybody was crowding around him just trying to get pictures, and I was one of them, and I really didn't get a chance to talk to him much. But then I caught him talking to Danielle Neuschwanger, who's the candidate for governor of Colorado. He didn't know that. He was just talking to her. And I came up and I made a little short video clip where she talked about how he's supposed to go to Ukraine on a Christian mission a couple of times. It was put off because of Corona, and now because of the invasion, he was about to go again for the third year and he couldn't go. Kevin Sorbo was awesome. I received an email tonight from Kevin Sorbo, but before I get too excited, I saw it. I'm like, oh, that's really kind. So I wrote a reply, and I thanked him for writing. I said, I appreciate you probably get hundreds of business cards shoved in your hand. Thank you so much. My audience really look forward to me interviewing you, a chance to talk about the movie you're going to be doing upcoming. It'll be recorded in South Africa later this year. And, I'd like to interview your brother if he's interested, because he's an Army veteran. We can talk about that. And I thanked him very kindly, and I sent the email, and then it never went anywhere. And then I went and looked at his email and realized it was me.com. So it's a no reply email. So, and I even said in the email, I said, whether it was you or you've got a team of people that just respond, I appreciate it. It's very professional. Well, so it was polite to get it. So basically, all the business cards he got, he probably had somebody sit down and send this form email out. But hey, that's a step more than most people take. So I appreciate it. But unfortunately, I can't communicate with him because my reply doesn't go back to him, which really sucks. But I mean, it's fair enough. He probably gets tens of thousands of things. He's a big Hollywood celebrity. So, but he was really cool and nice to talk to, easy, engaging. I could see why he's so popular. Still a good-looking guy, and he's tall. I think he's got me about the same height as me, or maybe an inch on me. But Kevin Sorbo was pretty cool. I met some journalists who were pretty cool as well. And then the Phil Rizzo guy that I interviewed today was really awesome. And some of the other ones were really cool too. It was a good experience. It goes by really fast though, folks. I mean, I can't believe this. I left Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's 5 days on a 7-day thing. It's gone by so quickly, and boom. There's another one in Texas this year. I'm going to look seriously about going to that one, because if I have the success I had here, but I'll see people I've met here, see them again, that'd be awesome. And now I can ask them for interviews when I'm down there. So, who was that? Lori just came up there. Lori says, "Good morning. Where were there talks you found flat disappointing?" Um, yeah, there were a few that were a little disappointing. I'm just trying to remember because some of them were kind of forgettable. One that I didn't like, people seem to love, was Carrie Lake. Carrie Lake is the former news journalist from Arizona who's running for governor there, and she's a darling of Trump. I didn't care for her speech at all. To me, I'm not trying to speak badly of her, but to me, it just came across as Trump Jr. I mean, she just basically parrots everything Trump does, and she doesn't really say anything that's new or different. Whereas Rick Grinnell had a very pointed speech. Um, yeah, it's Ted Cruz was very good. There were a few that were Carrie Lake, but people ate it up like red meat. They loved what she's had to say, but I wasn't particularly impressed by it. So, just my thoughts on it. Orlando is like a time warp. No matter what you do while you're there. Yeah, no kidding. Courtney and Carol have been drinking, but she is a bit more drunk than I am. I can tell somebody's been drinking based on the comments. Colleen has to go, but since the start, we and many people have been praying for the Ukrainians in the country. Please keep praying for me. Ukraine will win. Well, I don't know if Ukraine will win, but they're definitely holding their own at the moment. Whether they can continue to do that is another thing. Each day ammunition and missiles and rockets are fired, artillery rounds are fired. They're not being placed. That's a problem. Yeah, so some people have disappeared. We dropped from 70 down to 57. Sorry to see you guys go. This happens every morning when I'm doing this because a lot of people are heading off to work, or school or whatever. So thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Yeah, the White Family Farm crowd has been here a lot. Mr. Punish is here. Need to start my work. There you go. Mr. Punish is one. He always says when he's leaving. So good luck to you there. Okay. I'm drunk. Courtney's drunk. Oh my goodness. How is your political endeavors going? Well, I got elected. I don't know if you caught that. I'm judge of elections in my township. I ran as a write-in candidate and got triple the vote of the closest write-in candidate. And we're not talking about 3 votes. I mean, it was hundreds of votes we're talking about here. I ran a campaign and got elected. So I'm judge of elections for my local voting area, and I will be sworn in here sometime very soon. I haven't been sworn in yet because there's no election for me to oversee. It comes later. So anyway, yeah, I got elected. So beyond that, I'm not running for a state office right now or national office. So, but I'm still considering that at some point. Yep, still considering that. Congrats, didn't know. Last saw when you spoke about it. Well, that was a long time ago. The election was in November, and I was talking about it in August and September, so it has been a while. Yeah, no, it went well. I got elected. So thank you for asking. Monday just needs to sec. Okay. Okay. Have a great day, Mr. Punisher. Yeah, it is 1:30 a.m. on the East Coast. Yep. We are saying we are afraid of Monday. Huh? A Monday fan. I'm okay with Mondays. Day is just a day. It's another day on the calendar. Wow, look at that, folks. Well, I haven't even mentioned anything. We've shot up to 90 likes. Thanks. Can we get some more of those? Push it up over 100. That'd be pretty cool. My eyes are starting to really bother me here. It's been a long day. Today I did 2 interviews, recorded 3 streams, did this stream, did the 1-hour stream, did the Big Daddy Liberty show. That's 3 broadcasts in one day, plus recorded those other ones, plus interviews. And then I networked with a whole bunch of people. Moonchild says, do you ever sleep? Well, I will now. As soon as I finish here, I'll hit the rack for a few hours and I'll get up probably around 7 o'clock because I want to package all the stuff in my bags because tomorrow, Tuesday, when I leave, I have to leave here at like 4 o'clock to drive to the airport, which is an hour away because it's a different airport, and then drop the car off and be there in time for my flight at 8 o'clock. So I don't have time to be dicking around with that stuff tomorrow morning. I got to get done tonight, pack my suitcase and everything. So I have to do that in the morning, shower, then hit the road and go over and get a ticket for Cape Canaveral and go to Cape Canaveral. I hope to be at Cape Canaveral before 10 o'clock because the place with the ticket doesn't open till 9, and it's a good 45 minutes from here to there, I think it is. So I'm hoping to be at Cape Canaveral by 10, and then we'll see how the day goes from there. I intend to live stream, so if you guys want to catch stuff about Cape Canaveral tomorrow, that'll be interesting. Or today, for those of you in South Africa. Well, today for all of us. It's already today. I did not realize you flew into Orlando. Yeah, I didn't drive Fishes and Loaves. I flew on Frontier coming down, but the flight, which was today, Monday, going back, there were no seats, so I couldn't get on that flight. So I had to take Allegiant to go back, which is it's the Orlando Sanford Airport, which is ways from here. So it's about a 45-minute drive from here. So, yep. But I got a rental car. I got a Mustang. I never drove a Mustang before. Once again, thanks a billion for everything you do for us, Colonel. Need to go have a look. What? A leak? You gotta take a leak? Is that what you're saying? Do you think with this issue in Ukraine, the world has become too polite with politics? Don't you think China will? Do you think China will invade? Not even interesting. I don't know if China's going to invade Taiwan. That's huge, but it's certainly become more possible. And certainly, with Joe Biden can't have one crisis, let alone two simultaneously. So it's going to be a real problem. Matthew Dixon says, "Are you going to 7 chickens?" Yeah, I know they're on sale in 30 minutes, Matthew. I've told everybody about that. It's 25 minutes from now. My browser's open. Yeah, but that typically goes that it's hard to get in and get the tickets, so we shall see. We shall see. Whatever the case is, I'll probably get the tickets whether I go or not, so I may wind up selling them later on. So, yeah, that's in 25 minutes. You were correct. Yep. Contagious yawn. Sorry about that, Erica, but I'm very tired, and I'm ready for bed, but I just wanted to make sure we got through this. So, what else got there? Contagious yawn. She says, all right. Yeah, so let me go through the highlights again very quickly here of the news I said earlier for those who've tuned in late. So there are consequences to Russia's actions. Norway's National Sovereign Wealth Fund has announced that they're going to divest from Russian assets. Switzerland's President Ignacio Cassis said that Switzerland is likely to freeze all Russian assets. Russians reportedly have over $11 billion in assets in Switzerland, in banks and stocks and in ownership of companies. And it's also a major trading center for Russian commodities. Kosovo has asked for accelerated acceptance into NATO. Kosovo, which has about 640 U.S. troops currently stationed there, also wants permanent foreign military bases in Kosovo to protect its sovereignty. It has been independent since 2008, but recognized by 110 countries around the world, but not by Serbia, from which it broke away, or by Russia, which is preventing it from joining the United Nations. Media continue to claim the Russian offensive has stalled in Ukraine. After 4 days, Russian troops have yet to gain control of a single major Ukrainian city, and they don't have control of Ukrainian airspace, and they've yet to capture Kiev. So there's some merit to this argument, but I don't think it's a full picture. Now, the media is also claiming that Russia, since their blitzkrieg is not working, my term, not their term, they've moved basically from fire and maneuver. They say they're going to shift from fire and maneuver to siege warfare. If that happens, that's bad mojo and bad sign for Ukraine, because what's going to happen, folks? So let me just give you an indication of something here, so I'm going to break away, about the shadow banning. The number of people here is pretty consistent, and you've either liked it a long time ago, you wouldn't just suddenly, after watching 15, 20 minutes, half hour, decide to like it, but we've just gained 10 likes with the audience not changing. There's another one, and the audience hasn't changed, which means there are people that aren't being counted who are watching right now who have tuned in, and they're pushing the like button. You see? It's so dirty and underhanded. 99. We're almost at 100 likes. Look at that. There's 100 right there. People can only vote once, so it's not the 58 people that are here, and some of you might not even liked it. So I love it. 101. The likes are going up faster than the audience. This is comical. We've gone up 14 likes, and the audience hasn't shifted one person, which means the audience is larger than what's being reported. Anyway, so YouTube, you guys are so pathetic, man. Anyway, yeah, they are. They definitely are. Anyway, should Russian forces actually shift to siege warfare, that will be devastating for the Ukraine. They have BM-21 Katyusha rockets that could fire them all day long and just devastate infrastructure and urban centers, and the civilian population will be the target. Not a good development. Canada says that an Aeroflot plane overflew its airspace from Miami to Moscow today, well, yesterday now, it's Sunday, and that they're investigating. There's a ban on all Russian flights due to the invasion. So, according to Canadian authorities, we were aware that Aeroflot Flight 111 violated the prohibition put in place earlier today, Sunday, on Russian flights using Canadian airspace. We're launching a review of the conduct of Aeroflot and the independent air navigation service provider NavCan, short for Navigation Canada. Leading up to this violation, we will not hesitate to take appropriate enforcement action and other measures to prevent future violations. Well, okay, fine. I don't think they're going to do it. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations, Lyndon Thomas Greenfield, former U.S. Ambassador to Liberia, told CNN on Sunday that the Biden administration has made it clear that it will not put U.S. boots on the ground in Ukraine, thereby giving the green light. So these leftists want to whine about, they want to whine about Trump giving comfort to the enemy and saying that Putin is brilliant and that's been playing on Russian television. But what they don't say is that Biden is giving aid and comfort to Putin and telling him exactly what he's not going to do so he knows what he can't do. We will not put troops there. Why would you tell people that? Let the threat be there for deterrence. Google is no longer going to allow Russian state media outlets to run ads on Google. That's on Sunday, the decision. On Saturday, YouTube had done the same thing. On Friday, Facebook and Meta had decided that they're not going to allow any monetization or ads. So, yeah, there you go. Brazil's Bolsonaro, the president there, has refused to sanction Russia, saying that that the Ukrainians trust the comedian with the fate of their nation. That's kind of unfair, unkind. Also pointed out that Brazil is heavily dependent on Russia for its fertilizer, and he's not going to damage Brazil's economy. 11:15 this morning, which is now 10 hours plus away, Joe Biden will hold a meeting with Western leaders after he gets up from his nap. Yep, so we'll see what happens there. And then what else? Call is going to take place, as I said, 11:15 Eastern Standard Time. Now, Ukraine and Russia have agreed to meet on the border with Belarus, and Belarus has guaranteed the safety of Ukrainian diplomats. It will not include President Zelensky or President Putin. And Zelensky is warning people not to get too excited about outcomes. Don't expect too much to come out of this. And I would agree with Zelensky. I'd also, frankly, be very concerned about the safety of the envoys. I don't trust the Belarusians at all that they protect anyone. And if I was on that mission, I'd be very concerned that I might wind up like the like the representative who went to see King Leonidas in the movie 300, and he gets kicked into the well. That might be happening. According to the Associated Press, Russian troops on Sunday arrived in Kharkov, second largest city in Ukraine, famous World War II battle site. Major tank battles took place near Kharkov. And the Ukrainian media were showing Russian vehicles entering the city and one burning in the streets. So that's kind of what's been happening in the Ukraine. Let me see what's left of the comments here. Actually, it's getting warm here, folks. Let me turn the aircon back up. That'll kick back on here in a moment. Sorry, I just don't like heat. Numbers are great, but hearts and comments top it all. That's true. Deviant Lemon, good morning. Okay, interesting username there. Was always a long drive back and forth to Doylestown, but I needed all my stuff for my kids. I suppose I don't know what you're talking about there. Okay. Okay, what else? Classic 60s Mercedes-Benz used car lot. Huh. Interesting. No, interesting. You guys told me used cars. That's interesting. And we're over 100 likes. Thanks, folks. 103 likes. Wow. 63 people currently here, according to YouTube, and 103 likes. But nobody answered my question. A couple people said they saw me on Big Daddy Liberty. Any comments? I didn't get much chance to comment on there. I was just trying to caution people and throw a few things out there. One comment I wanted to share out there is that, and I shared it in the text later on when I went back in waiting for Trump to show up, for Trump Jr. to show up, was I said that Hugo, the only thing Hugo has to fear it's not the Russians. His greatest concern should be the safety of his country, Emmanuel Macron, and the European Union, Brussels. That's the biggest threat to Hugo's safety in France is Macron and the European Union. Matthew saw me at Big Daddy Liberty. Okay, cool. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Anyway, I think I was very complimentary of the other people that I mentioned who spoke before me. Gabriel Krause, I thought, did a good job framing things for people, so it was understandable. And then the only thing is with Hugo. Hugo said the Germans weren't serious about defense. I took issue with that because, see, that's the thing about being a historian, actually having lived it as well, is that the Germans weren't quite serious about their defense until the fall of the Berlin Wall, and then they started dismantling their defense. They used to habitually spend over 3.5% of GDP on defense, but that was no longer the case after the wall fell, and they reduced it back to such ridiculous levels it's out of control. Okay. Yeah, Erica, you're the only one that did comment. People said they saw it. You're the only one that said anything about it. Missed the Big Daddy Liberty show. Was at a game lodge this weekend. Ooh, cool. Cool. Definitely go watch Big Daddy Liberty. Say, okay, Deb. That's cool. Yeah. Well, I had 6,300 views today, so yeah, that'll push it up a little bit more. I kind of envy that. I wish I had 6,300. I haven't had 6,300 views on a video in ages. In fact, I wonder how many videos I've ever had. I've had one on this channel that's had that many views. Let me take a look and see what this says right now. Okay, that's old because there's 28 viewers, 22 likes. Yeah, 268 now, 62. My Ukraine video from yesterday has 1,000 views. This one has 268. The one I did this time, oh, the one with Mark Levin now has 1,000 views. That's cool. That's cool. The one I did at this time yesterday, no, that was a daytime one. That wasn't 1,000. The one I did this time has 594 in the end, so this is half that now. So also shows people's interest is waning. And then 544. So I'm getting about 500 for these at this hour. I'm getting 1,000 for the ones during the daytime here, or more, 1,500. Yeah, so the original one has 1,637. The one that one of my viewers said they couldn't find. And my video with Valiant Tutorial now is at 2,300. So cool. And just take a look real quick here. By the way, these are dismally low numbers for the normal. But anyway. So we shot up to 4,000 views on Saturday. It's the most views I've had in a single day in ages, but the number of hours dropped. No, it went back. I'm sorry, it went up, yeah. It went up from Friday to Saturday. Yeah, it gone down for a few days in a row, but revenue is way down. Take a look at that. It's 28th. Today's the last day of the month, and we'll see how if we've got any revenue here. Revenue. We are at, for the month, we are at 50% of the money that came in January, 33% of the money that came in December, and only 40% of the money that came in September. So not looking so good there. Anyway, but again, it's not about the revenue, and a lot of my audience are in desperate financial straits, so I don't expect to see that stuff. So yeah, wow. I got a lot more super chats this month, a lot smaller ones than we've had of late, so that's why the numbers are down. Plus, I haven't been advertising any of my videos. I just turned it off. Just I'm tired of being harassed by YouTube telling me they're limited ads. So screw them. We'll have no ads. Company was basically supporting you flying into Florida as I've driven back. Oh, gotcha. Okay, now it makes sense. Thank you, Fishes Loves. I didn't understand. Andre von Royen says Putin will not retreat. He's going to go full hog. Well, I'm not sure what he's going to do, but I've said this before. Geopolitically, strategically, it makes sense. I'm not condoning it. I'm not calling for it, but it makes sense for Russia to annex the eastern third of Ukraine up to the Dnieper River. It's a natural boundary for them. There's also a lot of Russians on that side of Ukraine. Also a lot of Ukrainians there. So, but that makes sense. We'll see what they do. Lots going on here, but it's definitely not going the way. Chris and Bobby, there's a big difference between rhetoric and rhetoric. Rhetoric, huh? And experience and wisdom. Oh, okay. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. I think that was a compliment. Anyway. All right, folks. Yeah, so 109 likes now. Cool. Yeah, so you know what's not being talked about? We haven't got to this yet. We've talked about Ukraine. I've gone over the news a couple of times. We've talked about, let me see if there's any new developments while we're sitting here chat. Oh no, that'll take forever. This thing it goes back default to the menu channel, so never mind that. But we talked about Ukraine. We've talked about CPAC. What we haven't talked about is the Freedom Convoy, the People's Convoy. These truck drivers coming across America is getting no coverage whatsoever because all the attention's on Ukraine. It's crazy. Yep. Oh, Erica's saying everyone in the Durban area who watches, who's part of the Wyatt Army, should get together for coffee. That would be cool. And you guys could take a snap, send it to me. Hopefully, it's more than 2 or 3 of you. It'd be 10 or 12 or 15. It'd be great. And take a group photo and send it. We could post it. And we could even do a live stream from there. Call in and have everybody, if you want to be on the camera. Deviant Lemon says, was meaning to ask, but keep forgetting to. Are you familiar with Misha Collins, actor, activist, Random X? Reason why I'm asking is because she was an intern during the Clinton. The name sounds familiar, but I don't recall. Truck drivers are striking to over petrol. Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not surprised, and that's not getting much attention either. Yep, not surprised. Yeah, petroleum prices are only going to get higher, folks. Only going to get higher. It's crazy, absolutely crazy. Yep. Well, tomorrow, because I haven't gone to bed yet. I will be live streaming from Cape Canaveral if all goes well. So hopefully you guys can tune in for that. Sadly, though, I'm going to miss the next launch, which is United Liberty Alliance launch with the Saturn V rocket. That's going to be the next day, unfortunately, after I've already departed from the area, which kind of sucks. And I may be appearing on Alex Newman's program. We'll see. So, in fact, let me see if he wrote back to me because it was late. Just checking something here real quick, folks. Give me a second. See if he wrote back to me. No, it was too late. He didn't write back to me. Okay, cool. Anyway, I was just checking. So, yeah, for those of you who want to get tickets to the Cape Town Sevens, they go on sale in 10 minutes. So, with that in mind, I'm going to ask if there's any questions here you guys want to ask him before we wrap up. Deborah Olivier says, from a very misty Sedgefield, a lull before the heat. Okay. And Andre from Ryan says, I'm sure someone internal Putin generals seem to be getting pissed with him. Yeah, they probably are. A lot of people here in the West, people that have met with him before, say he's not right in the head. Well, it's interesting we're talking about Putin not being right in the head. We know that Joe Biden's not right in the head, so no one's talking about that. So, yeah, that is interesting. Condoleezza Rice, I heard her interviewed, and she said, I've met with him dozens of times, and there's something wrong about him. Maybe. I don't know. I've never met with Putin. His behavior certainly isn't rational. It doesn't make any sense to invade Ukraine. He can get what he wants out of Ukraine simply by pressuring it, making him a vassal state. Huh. What else? Anyway. All right. I'll tell you what, folks. Let's go and wrap it up here. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate it. Have a lovely day. I'll be back in a number of hours. And there you have it. So thanks for your patronage. Thanks for being on the channel. Thanks for memberships. Thanks for super chats. Thanks for just supporting the channel, putting your comments out there. Really do appreciate it. It's great. And I do appreciate you guys being here. So thanks a lot. Have a lovely evening or morning. And I'll see you all a little bit later on. And thank you all so much. So that's it. This was all done from my mobile. It's pretty good, huh? On the mobile. Does a really good job. Anyway, see, this is why I need 1,000 subscribers on my Rugby Ascendant channel, which I haven't made a pitch for this week. I need people over there so I can do this for rugby coverage. Wouldn't that be cool? Anyway, folks, take care. Thank you so much. We'll see you later on. You can go catch me on that Big Daddy Liberty stream from earlier today if you'd like. Or catch any of my videos. There's plenty of them out there with candidates I've interviewed, some short videos and some long ones. Cheers, everybody.